Every single play, from the trenches to the touchdown, leading the way. Pigskin platoon, yeah, it's the pigskin platoon.
Sir, who you got as your first wide receiver?
All right, so my first wide receiver that I have is the new upcoming wide receiver one, Jalen Waddle. I think Jalen Waddle is exactly the player that dynasty managers thrive on, that don't regret drafting him. Uh, he went from the Miami Dolphins to the Broncos. I mean, you couldn't play that any better than a huge upgrade for him, not only for him but for Bo Nix. I think where he's at, yeah, I know he's 27, 28 years old now, but I think with his play style ability, he is going to elevate not only himself but obviously Bo Nix. And I think that two power couple, I'm really hoping that it skyrockets the both of them up to top 3 for both of their positions. Elite talent, elite speed, elite route tree that Jalen Waddle has is the perfect perfect place for him in the rest of his
Um,
career. Okay. Who do you have for your wide receiver?
okay, so for my first wide receiver, I have Amon-Ra St. Brown. So
Whew.
he is a guy that has consistently produced for his team. Talking last year with 324 points, and the following year 316 points, and then his 23 season with 331. Like he's going to continue to be that guy for them, and he's going to continue to do good.
Yeah. Yeah. He is a guy that people talk about is saying, yeah, he's a great wide receiver. But um a lot of people don't realize how good he actually is on a year to year basis. I mean, if you look at it, like with Amon Ra, they always project him in the top 5, but he's always like almost dead last every time. He's never like number 1. He's never like number 2. He's a receiver that it's almost like he is like underrated or undervalued. But then when he plays out there, he's just so consistent, and no one ever like covers him up, and he's so hard to cover up. But if you look at it, like 2021, he had 274 points, and then you had 2022, he had 326 points, and then a crazy year in 2023 with 402 points. Then he stays pretty much consistent since then. He goes 24, 385 points, and then 25, he had 394 points. So once again, this is another player that if you can get him, or if you have him, this is a guy that obviously if you have him already on your team, there's no question to even like listen to the rest of this part of the video, because Amon Ra is arguably one of the top 3, and he's going to continue to he might even crack the number 1 spot this year.
That's been the best thing is he's consistent with a, a good quarterback. He's not
Yeah,
nothing's going to change here. He's going to
yeah.
continue to produce high for everybody.
I don't get why he's always projected at number 5 or like lower than that. It
He's
doesn't
always
make any
slept on,
sense to me.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So my number 2 wide receiver, he's definitely one of my favorites. I have him on my dynasty, and I'm fingers crossed he comes back from this injury and he comes back better than ever. And it'd be so awesome to see this dynamic with his quarterback, because no one's seen it yet, but is Malik Neighbors. And with Malik Neighbors, his route tree, it's almost like when he was a rookie, he came out and like almost practically looked like a Justin Jefferson out there or a Jamar Chase. I mean, yeah, he's not like like literally the fastest dude out there, but that's why he's a slot receiver. And Malik Neighbors is a generational receiver that he's going to have a big future ahead of him as long as he can stay healthy. I know the last 2 years that he's played, he is his injuries have kind of cost him to be a top five receiver. Here we go again. We're talking about a receiver that uh, can definitely be top three, if not the number one as well. I personally love him, and I think he is going to be fantastic with Jackson Dart. And the explosiveness in his route tree is going to be absolutely insane. And I think Jackson Dart is going to have so much fun throwing the ball to him.
I think seeing how Johnson is going to handle having him for the whole year and not injured is going to be insane.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
absolutely.
all right. So the next guy that I got is Michael Pittman Jr. Maybe a little bit of a pull, but I think he's going to a really solid situation there. I think the big thing that helped out Pittman, some of his like biggest things that he's got really good catch radius. It's not strong hands in traffic. He can fight for the ball while he's in traffic with everybody, and he's reliable. The biggest thing is like he catches it when you need him to the most. Um, you're looking at his 25 season. So last year he put up 205, 202, 202 points, 160, 165 the previous year, and then 250 the year after that. So I only see him going up. He's going right back to, I would say probably going to be Aaron Rodgers in the backfield this year for these guys again. I think he's going to kind of come back. And I think he's going to catch it because the guy on the other side of the field is DK Metcalf, and they're going to be all over DK because DK couldn't really do too much last year. And then now having that number two wide receiver or that other guy they're going to throw to, it's going to be Pittman. I think Pittman's just going to soak it up.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It'll give DK a bit more of a shot to down the field, and it'll open up that opportunity, especially with people realizing how well Michael Pittman is. Michael Pittman is he's gonna have that same he's gonna finally have that production that he deserves, respectfully. I know it's kind of coming in pretty late for him, but yeah, I mean he is definitely a candidate that can definitely go nuclear in on his team and be a standout. Uh, I don't think it really matters what quarterback is behind there. I think he's definitely another one of those receivers that will always be open and rely or and like gain the trust immediately for any of the quarterbacks. And if it is Aaron Rodgers, that's the type of receiver that Aaron Rodgers wants is a Michael Pittman because he kind of has that same uh play style as like Devontae Adams or kind of like a Garrett Wilson in a way. Uh yeah, I mean, it was a good move for the Steelers to get him, and I think that that's going to be he's definitely going to be up where, you know, looking at it, you know where he's ranked at in Dynasty?
No, where is he ranked?
45 amongst the top 50 receivers.
Huh.
45. Can you imagine selecting him and then him being in the top five, top three? I could see it happening. Yeah, it's a good pick.
That's the last wide receiver.
Yeah. So my last guy that I have here is AJ Brown. Uh I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this one, but AJ Brown is definitely a guy that's gonna elevate Drake May even more than what Drake May had beforehand.
Yeah,
I think AJ Brown is definitely going to be the guy that a lot of people are not going to see coming again. He's going to revive with Drake May. Drake May is going to favor the targets. He's going to pepper the targets to him. And I feel like AJ Brown is going to be that reliable receiver that Drake May has been looking for. And that's probably going to elevate the Patriots. And people are sleeping on the Patriots again. I, I don't want that, but like, gotta be realistic about it.
I agree. It's going to be interesting to see how good that team is next year with AJ Brown being there.
Yeah. Okay, so who? Moving on to tight ends. Who is your top tight
Okay,
end?
so my top tight end is Sam Laporta. I think he's been pretty consistent throughout his whole career. I mean, other than injuries, but I think he's been Mr. Consistent. He's been there for Jared Goff when he's needed him, and what his first year he absolutely tore it up. I think he's destined to do it again here. Um, the big thing with him is he's reliable. So sorry guys. Um, so his hit last year, granted injuries, right? Only 9 games. He put up 106 points. Previous year was 16 games, 174, and then his rookie year was outstanding with 239 points. You just see him, he's just going to continue. So the big thing with him is he's an elite route runner, which you see that in the games that he's there. Um, he's he's got reliable hands in traffic, so he's another solid guy for that. And yeah,
Yeah, Sam Laporta. I mean, they Detroit has some really good special talent. Running back, tight end, receiver, arguably sometimes even the quarterback position, depending on the year. Uh, but at the same time, like, yeah, you can't argue that Sam Laporta is not a great quarterback or a great tight end. I mean, he when he's healthy out there and he's doing his job, that dude is a top three to top five tight end almost every year. And I think this will be the full. I would like to hope that Sam Laporta would be the guy that just goes absolutely nuclear and like finally have his shot at being the number one or even number two tight end in the league at the end of the year. I can see it happening. I can 100% see it happen.
yeah, dude.
I'll have to find out. All right, so my top tight end is Trey McBride. This is another cheat code at its finest when it comes to a tight end position. Trey McBride, yes, he's projected to be the number one, and I still think that he will 100% be number one, or if not in the top three this year, as far as uh points wise goes and being a top tight end. I mean, if you look at it, his rookie year he didn't have the greatest, but then he went insane mode after that and went from 265 to 363 and then all the way up to 436 points for a tight end. It's hard for me to imagine that he will crash and like not be able to reach that limit again. I really think that this limit or this trajectory that he is going on is going to continue, and being an insane tight end is what this guy's made of. Yeah, there was a lot of people that said Brock Bowers, but I mean, last year was just it wasn't really his fault. It was just the play style of Brock Bauer or for Brock Bowers, so it's kind of like unfair for him. But still, Trey McBride with the Arizona Cardinals, he's got that catching ability. He's got the red zone threats. he puts up so much points a game. He's such a reliable tight end that it's hard to if you don't have a solid wide receiver, I hope you have Trey McBride as your tight end if you skipped on a wide receiver and waited until afterwards. If you were skipping on a wide receiver, I hope you have this guy without a doubt.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay,
So
who's your next guy?
our next guy is Jake Ferguson. I think Jake's really great. I mean, last year 188, the year before 104, and then 177. So the big reason why I see him being that guy that can go nuclear this year is he's consistently gets designated looks. So you could see Dak when he drops back, he's always looking for Jake. Said he's really good. He's a safety valve for Dak, and he's there. He's there for him consistently. So the big thing is with him, he's a strong red zone threat. He's yeah, he's there when you need him in the red zone. He's there. He's the go-to guy there because he's got good hands. He can catch, and he's reliable. Biggest thing for a tight end, reliable. He's got good route running. So
Yeah. Yeah, I have him on my my dynasty, and Jake Ferguson's always been when I needed like a few extra points, he bailed me out. Like he's always been Mr. Reliable for me the last 3 years, and going into the fourth year, I can definitely see him rising up because people already cat's out of the bag. Dak Prescott and George Pickens. That's that was a whole year of that last year. And there's only so much you can do with CeeDee Lamb and Pickens when you have to start dumping it out to Ferguson. And I think
mhm.
Ferguson's going to continue to be a elite tight end that he rightfully deserves. And yeah, good blocking, good catch, good hands, and good route tree that Jake has.
Yeah,
I could see it going up even more. I know last year was his best year, even though he had Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, so it's only you can only see it going upwards for him. Okay,
so what are
huh?
your last two tight ends?
My last two tight ends. So my last two, I have Brock Bowers. He's the number two projected, but if you look at it, uh, Brock Bowers, when I talked about before, he went insane mode his rookie year, but then he kind of fell back down to earth. Wasn't really his fault. It was more or less like I said before, it was the offense scheme, it was the coaching, it was the quarterback position, a little bit of everything else that kind of hurt him in a way. But with that being said, he also put up 243 points for last year, and I think with the quarterback position he's got, the coaching staff that he's got, you can put him in the top 30 as tight ends this year. It's like still.
And you look at who his quarterback is this year. Everybody would criticize Kirk Cousins as the check down guy. So maybe Brock Bowers is it within that check down. I realize check downs mostly are your running backs, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the statistics on Kirk Cousins and tight ends, he made TJ Hawkinson and then he made Kyle Pitts
Well, that's
relevant,
true. Yeah.
you know? So like with those two tight ends, now he's gonna be throwing it to Brock freaking Bowers. And yeah, I think he's definitely gonna surpass a lot of tight ends this year and he's gonna be a killer.
And none of them, man, you were like right on top of this year, knowing that he's going to do solid.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though the two tight ends I have are projected to be one and two. Yeah,
Mm.
I don't blame it being those two. All right, and then my last tight end that I got is Tucker Kraft. We kind of slightly talked about him in the beginning when you were talking about Jordan Love. I think with Tucker Kraft, he is a another generational tight end. It was unfortunate with his injury, but I think with him coming back, he is going to be a valuable resource to Jordan Love and his touchdown abilities. He's going to be a red zone threat. He is definitely a good blocker. He's definitely going to be the guy that Jordan Love's going to be looking at every time he's having to scramble out of the pocket and then having to do a check down to Kraft. So another guy that I feel like he is going to be an absolute nuclear guy. He was on that trajectory last year, and then unfortunately with his injury, it kind of tainted him a bit, and that was unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's it from us today. Pigskin Platoon, where football lives.
And hot takes fly like bad trades.
Two voices, one game.
We'll catch you on the next snap.
Thank you for watching and smash that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon so you can catch all of the updates on all football from us. And comment down below and let us know how we did and where we can do better at. We appreciate it and have a good one.